All right, so before we go into detailing proper, let me just quickly do this. So this is for the section for your foundation. Okay, so you can just copy this one, place it closer to the foundation layout. Okay, and we copy this. You can drop it here. You can change this letter A to 8. You can change this to 8. You can change this to 8 as well. So as you can see, this one, the detail 8 is showing for this one. So this is the section for this one. Then this one as well is for this one. This is within the building layout. That is within the building. This is as the external part of the building, and that is why we have this. Okay, so now we are using a 225 block wall, and this is what the material specified uh, for the filling, for the fabric mesh, the concrete slab, that is oversized concrete. So you see that the level is the ground floor, and for our this design, for this our building project, from natural ground level to the ground floor is 600. All right. Okay. So likewise, this is also 225 block. This is your strip foundation, which is this 650 is 3 times the width of the block. Then the thickness of your strip is this. All right. Then how do we get this height? Remember that this height, yes, this height is from your strip up to the ground floor, right? And from what we have here, from what we have here, from natural ground level to from natural ground level, you dig down to 1.5 to 1.5 meter. Okay, 1.5 meter plus 600. 600 is from the natural ground level to the ground floor. Remember our dimension is from ground floor to your strip. So from natural ground level we have 1.5. From natural ground level to ground floor we have 600. So 1.5 plus 600. So that is going to be 1.9. Yes, that is 1.9. So going to be 1,900. So that is this correct? 1.5 plus 600. That should be 2.1. Yeah, 2.1. That is 2,100. All right. Yes. So you might be confused that why is this one lesser than this? So you just know that this one is from the strip base to the ground floor, while this is from natural ground level down to the bottom of what the footing. Alright, so that is the difference. So you can now change for this one as well. So you can be using this template for your foundation section. You can use it for your foundation sections. Alright, that is for that. Then coming back to our pad footing detailing. Okay, this is the detailing we generated um, from Procta. Okay, so this is the detailing we got from Procta. So let's copy this. I like to copy so that I will not have to tamper with the original work in case I need anything to refer back to. I have the original work to go back to. Okay, now yes. Now let's dimension to see, because I'm not going to use the dimension of the footer. I'm not going to edit everything complete. So, but before I do that, I have to check that when I dimension, is it actually with what we have? Okay, as you can see, the footing size is 1000, but when we dimension, we are having a double of that size. So that what is telling us that we need to scale so that we can meet up with the dimension, the actual dimension. Okay, so we select it and we click on scale. As you can see, click on scale. We want to scale it. So when we dimension, we have double of what we have. So that means we need to reduce, or we have to do a scale of what? 0.5. So you are going to enter the scale factor 0.5. Okay, it has been scaled. We come back here to dimension to see. Okay, as you can see, we now have 1000. We now have 1000. All right. Okay. Move this here. Begin to delete this. Okay, that is for 1000 by 1000 pad footing. The second type of footing you have is 14 by 14. So you can move this. Okay, you can now begin to do the same thing. Okay, we can move this. All right. So we have three groups of fat base. We have 1000 by 1000. We have 15 by 16, and we have 14 by 14. So this is the same thing. 14 by 14. This is like when you times it by 2, you see that this is 14 by 14. And I already have it here. So I'll just delete this. So this is what we have. Okay. The next thing now, we begin to dimension the footing. Then we click on continue. So we now dimension the overall length, which is this. Okay, we click on continue. The overall length. Alright, so now we can't leave it this way, obviously, because it's too jam-packed. So I can just select this. Now when I come here, let's set this is what we call the arrowheads, the lines and arrow. This is the line, this is the arrow. So we reduce this to 1. Okay, then we come down here, we reduce the extension line. This extension lines, we reduce it to 1 as well. We reduce it to 1. Then I want the text colors to be green, right? Then I want the text height to be 2. Fantastic. So then I can stretch this to come closer. Yes, I think this is okay. Then we begin to match property. Good. So now we are done dimensioning. So what we're trying to do is to get the shape of the base we want to detail. So after you have gotten the shape, before you now go on to detail, okay, so I can just move this down a little bit. All right. So then we need to offset our concrete cover. So we use the concrete cover of 40. All right. So we offset inward for this ones. We offset for this as well. All right. So then we can now go into CAD RC detailing. Can I go to CAD RC detailing? So come to CAD RC. Now, before you begin to detail, um, first you need to understand what the shape code is. Okay, but before I explain the shape code, okay, so before we detail the CAD RC, when you first turn on your AutoCAD, you are seeing the plugin this way, but the CAD RC is not loaded, is not activated. So when you come here, when you hover your mouse over this, you see toggle automatic loading. So when the toggle automatic loading is active, it means that whenever you open your AutoCAD, the CAD RC will open automatically with AutoCAD. So the implication of that is that depending on your system specification, it might take time for you to open AutoCAD because you are loading two things at a time. Okay, so for you to save your time in opening AutoCAD, it is best you turn off this toggle automatic loading so that when the AutoCAD properly loads, you can now begin to load your CAD RC. So now this next one is to load the CAD RC itself. So when I click on it, it will load. Okay. So when your own is not loaded, when you click on this load CAD RC, it will load. I think because I've loaded my own, that is why it didn't. It's supposed to show the CAD RC logos and all that. Okay. In case you are loading yours for the first time, it will show the CAD RC logo. But I think maybe because I've loaded this already, that's why it didn't show. Then after you have finished loading the CAD RC, you have to load CAD RC drawing environment. So you click on it and you see something, you know, telling that something is loading. All right. So because I've loaded all this, that's why it's not showing. And also you want to load your scale. You have to load the CAD RC scale. So when you load, everything here will tell you that okay, it is actually loading. So after you have done the loading, the CAD RC everything has been loaded. Is active. The first thing you need to do is to load your drawing, set your sheet. You have to set your sheet. That is your paper size. All right. So you type in cards. You can type in cards. As you can see, you have different options. So you're going to load cards setup. So you click on cards setup. You begin to choose what paper size. Is it A1, A4, A2, and all that. So we are loading A3. You click OK. What scale do you want to use? For this we're making use of scale of what? 50. You click OK. What sheet number? You can say 001. Click OK. So you can enter your client names, details, and all that. So I'm going to click OK. So once I click OK, see that this loads up. This is the generated CAD RC title block. All right. So we don't need that for now. So we'll come back. So that means we have loaded the paper size. The next thing now is to do your configuration. So you click on, okay, you can type cards. So what we need is we have cards, the configuration menu, and we have CAD RC configuration menu. So you're going to click CAD RC configuration menu. So when you click on this, you have change detailing standard. When you click on the change detailing standard, this is what we call shape codes. In case you don't know what shape codes is, you can just browse about it. We have the BS 4466 and we have BS 8666. So this is the latest shape and this is the older one, right? So the shape code is trying to is just about different shapes you have. What are these shapes? How your bars will be bent. When you come to slab, we have some bars that are straight. Maybe when it's found inside the building, the bars will be straight. But when it's found at the edges, you see that you have to return, you have to anchor that bar, and that automatically is a different shape. When you have your links is a different shape from a straight bar. Okay, so basically, I'll just leave the work for you to go and browse the shape codes. You look at it yourself. Okay, I will still browse that and still send the I'll send the materials on this shape codes so that you can actually read up. All right. So it now depends for you which one do you want to use. But I want to make use of what? It depends on you actually. I want to make use of this BS4466. Okay, that is for that. You come back to the same place. You want to check your configuration center. You click OK. Now you come here. You set your text. What font? What the label? Which factor? What size? Let me make use of 5. Okay. Then what color do you want your rebars to be? You can change the color of your rebars here. The spanning length or the spanning direction. Do you want it to be white or another color? You can change it here and all that. So I want to click OK and close. So you can see with your free time, you can actually check other options and see what you can do. Alright, after I've loaded these 3 things, the next thing now is to start our detailing. So, and before we start the detailing, you must have gotten your rebar information. Remember, we are using Y16 250, Y16 250 for all of them. Yeah, Y16 250. So that is what we are using. Okay. So for us to detail our footing, here now we have new mark, you have range new mark, and you have all of that. So you're going to use, for now, you're going to use range new mark. All right. So when you click on range new mark, this pops up, right? So what are we detailing? We are detailing footing. So that when we generate our schedule, we know that okay, this is under footing, this is under slab and all that. So we are detailing our what? Footing and make it current. You click OK. So you have different options for what? For detailing. So for this footing, you are going to make use of what? Single indicator. So when you click on that, this pops out. This is shape code, and this is the shape code number. So when you click on this, the straight line, you see this is another shape. This is another shape as well, right? So these are the different shapes you have. Okay, these are the different shapes of bars, how they will be bent on site. All right. So for our footing, the shape we normally use is this. This is the shape for our footing. This is how the shape is. So we're going to pick this one. If it's a straight bar, we pick this. Understand? So we're going to pick this for our footing. Okay. So here he's talking about multi rebar. All right. So the multi means like how many bars. Okay. For example, now for that 1000 size of footing, this 1000 size of footing with a spacing of 250. So when you divide 1000 by 250, you have 4 number of bars. Okay, so that is where this 4 number of bars will be. Okay, when you divide the length with the spacing, you have 4 number of bars, right? But we're not going to put the number of bars because the Cadastro will do it automatically for us, right? That is what this one means. Then if you have 4 number of bars, how many footings how many footings are grouped. When we group the footing into a particular type of size. So when we group the footing, we discover that the number of footings that fall under 1000 by 1000, it is 10 in number, right? So for one particular footing, we have four number of bars in this direction, right? We have it in this direction. So, but we have about how many footings? So we have about 10 in number. So we're going to, if you have, when you type 10, it means that 4 for one footing multiplied by 10 number of what footing. So that is, you are accounting for other what 10 other footings, for the 10 footings when you put this. But when I make this 1, it means that I'm accounting for only one particular footing. Okay, that's what this multi means. So when I put 10, it means that I'm accounting for the 10 footings that we have. Okay, because of our schedule, we will make use of 10, because this will now make us to account for other footings as well. But once also are detailing only one footing, you can make use of what 1. So, but because we want to generate the details for the other footings, we make it 10, which is the total footings that are under 1000 by 1000. Then we can remove this one 0, because the carousel will do the job for us, right? So what is the symbols for your reinforcement? So we normally use Y in Nigeria. You can use T as well, or normally use 10. You normally use Y. Then for the what is the reinforcement size? Remember we are using Y16. We choose that. This is the bar mark, because that was the first detailing. This is the first detailing. Then what is the center to center? I don't need to. Okay, you can enter here to 50. You can make a comment here. You can typically say B1 or B2. So because what we are detailing is a square footing, so I don't really need to indicate which one is B1 and B2. All right. Then this is the drawing sheet we have. Make sure you specify this for the one we created, which is sheet 01, and it is under the footing we created. This is the compartment, so that when we generate footing, anything under footing will be generated separately. So when you come here, after you have done selected all this, because we need to input the length of these parameters A, B, C. So you come to first bar. So when you come to first bar, you are now allowed to enter the length of A. So our footing is 250 in thickness. So there is no particular formula for that A, right? But what I normally apply is to use anything half of the footing, which is we have 250 divided by 2, we have 125. So you can make it a 125, but what I normally use is 140. So this A doesn't have a particular formula actually, but I normally use the principle of half the footing thickness. Okay, then our footing length is 1000. So remember we have a concrete cover of 40. So if we remove 40, that is a 1000 minus 40 minus another 40. So it will be a total of 1000 minus 80. So when you minus that, you have your footing to be the B to be 920. So we remove 2 concrete cover from the total length. You have 920, and your C should be equal to what? To B. Your C should be equal to your A. So we have this 140 and 140, and we want it, because we are detailing the plan of the footing. So we want the view to be what? Side view. Make sure this side view is what you selected, and you click OK. So always look at this. Always look at this point here. It's now asking if you select your what, your start point. Okay, so I want the footing, the reinforcement detailing to be a bit at this point. I click. It's not asking me to enter dimension what? A. I just select the second point where it will stop. You click again. Okay, let me repeat that. I should have off the snap cursor. You escape. Click on that same point. Repeat the same thing. Routine. Single indicator. Okay, everything has been set. Just come here. 140, 920, 140. Click OK, and you're good to go. So we want at this point, we want it selected. So it's not requesting for your B. You can turn off this snap cursor. And how do you want our bar to face? We want it to face this direction. So we can come here, this. Okay, it didn't actually face the way we want, but that's not the problem. So this is the shape we want. Then it's now asking to the start of your bar range. So we can just come here, select on this. It now asks for your offset first bar from start. You can use an offset of 25. Enter. It's asking for your pick the end of range. So where do you want the range to stop? We want it to stop from here because our reinforcement will be arranged from here down to this point. So we are stopping it here. It's requesting for another offset 25. Enter. Okay, so I think I forgot to add the spacing there. So it's now requesting for us to enter the spacing of what the uh reinforcement, which is 250. You enter, click enter again, and it's asking you, do you want to justify? Yes, you want to justify. You type your Y, and we have this. So where do you want the labels to be? I want it to stop somewhere here. Click yes, and we have this. So we have successfully what detailed this particular one. So maybe you don't want the way this bar is facing. You want it to face this way. You can select it, then use the mirror tool. Okay, turn on your cursor. I want it to yes. Then I want to erase the source object. Yes. Click OK, and you have this the way you want. So we now need to detail the second bar. Click here, or you can access this way, or you can also right click CAD Rc, draw range. When you click on draw range, you can now click on what new map, and the same thing comes up. All right. So the number of footings, they are 10 in number. We want a spacing of 250. Then the size 140. This is 140 as well. Then this is 920. Click OK. Remember, you want the sides to be shown. Okay, click OK. I want it to come to this point. Yes. Then I off my snap cursor. I want it to face this way. Yes. And it's asking for your range bar. It's starting from here. An offset of 25. This is the end point. An offset of 25. Then, as you can see, it didn't request for the spacing of the bar because I've entered the spacing before coming to detail here. But if you didn't enter the spacing there, it will request you to enter it here. So I just click enter. Do I want to justify? If I click yes, the CAD Rc will automatically place my label. This is my label. If I click yes, this label will be placed straight at this point. It will be placed directly here. But I want the label to also be placed in this way, right? So I'll just say no. And that is it. So now I want to now label this. I'll come to the annotate, click on what? Label an existing bar. So I want to label this. I will click on it. So you see that now I can now have choice to where I want to place it here. You can also okay, let me click it here. Then you say pick the points of the bar. So I want to pick here. Yeah, see that added the labeling. Okay, we also forgot to add the 10 for the number of footings here. So we can just double click on this and it will bring us back to that same page. So I can now add 10 to it, click OK. So and it has been modified. Yes, that is just that. Then this is becoming too big, right? You can reduce the text size to 100. Then reduce this to this point. Reduce this to this point. Okay, we can as well move it closer. So we reduce this. So we reduce this. Alright. So one thing is that Cadalcy detailing is automatic in the sense that if you make okay, let's stretch this bar. Yes, click yes. Always read these stuffs here so that you'll be guided on what to do. So you said use crossing window to select. I want to stretch this one. See, I'll now be given the room to stretch. So I can just select on this, stretch it to this point. So what I just wanted to show is that Cadalcy is automatic. Because I've stretched this now, it also has increased the number of bars. Likewise, this one, it is still 5 as it is because of where we started and where we stopped. But because I've stretched this, it automatically updates this. Okay, so when you're done detailing, you can now remove this. Then you can change this color to white. So this is okay. Then we now want to detail the section. Yes. So I can copy this. Why I capture this so that it will be easier for you when you have your own job, so that you don't have to be recreating all these stuff. All right. Where is it? Okay, this is it here. This is it. You can just move this to this point. Okay, you can leave it here. Let me delete this. Copy this. Then move it to this point. All right. So when we cut this section, we are seeing this. Remember, what we have detailed here is the same thing that will appear here. So we are not adding a new detailing. What we want to show here, it is what is here. All right. So a way we can do it is we can either add bar view into this place. We can add bar view into this place. When you add bar view, we are not putting in any new reinforcement, but you only want to what is showing here to show here. But if you don't want to use that, we can actually copy as well. Just click on this, click on copy, then you can drag it down to this point. Okay, once you copy, it will now say copy bar view or copy bar set. When you copy bar view, you are not increasing the quantity of bars in the bar bending schedule. When we click on copy bar set, you are adding extra quantity. But what we want to do is already an existing bar, just that we want to see the section. So it's not a new bar entirely. So we want to copy bar in view. So when we copy bar in view, we only show the bar, but the quantity is still the same in our bar bending schedule. All right. Um, we have concrete cover of 40. So let's see. We type in 40, enter. We can now move it to hit at that point. So we can delete this. All right. So it is now left for us to show this as well. So what we're going to do is right click, allow C, draw range, then add view. So we want to add the view of this. General, click on what? General run. Okay, we click OK. Where does the range you want to start? You want it to start here. An offset of 25. Enter. So where is the end range? We click an offset of what? 25. We want it to be placed down. Okay, as you can see, the bars is not a new bar. Actually, we just place this into this, as you can see. Now we have to detail the column starter bar. We have to detail the column starter bar. Okay. So now to detail the column starter bar, we come to Cads Rc. You click on new mark, or you right click, come to this place, draw bar, new mark. Okay. So then our column rebar will look like this. Okay. So when you use range, this is your range. This is new bar. Okay, well, let me right click. We have range, you have new bar. So when you use range, you are required to enter the spacing of the reinforcement. But when you use draw bar, you're only required to enter the number of what bars, right? So what we just needed is to add the number of bars, and we are not adding any spacing. So we click on this new range, we click on draw bar, new mark. So how many in our column? We have 4 number of bars. All right. Then we have y16, and we have what again are we setting? For your A is a minimum of what 300. Then we can just enter 750. If the bar length is too much, you can stretch. We click OK. I don't want it to be under the footing compartment, so let me use unassigned for it. I will just click OK. So where do I want that to start? I can say, okay, let it start here. I can off my snap cursor. It's now requesting for my B. My B is like this, and you have this drawn. It's now asking, do you want to justify? Yes, I want to justify. So I can place the label at this point. Okay, I ask to pick the bar. I'll pick it at this point, and this has been what labeled. Then I can move this to be positioned well somewhere here. Okay, our column concrete cover, we specified 25 mm, right? So we enter 25, enter, we move. So let's just touch somewhere here. Alright, can now delete this. Okay, it's okay. This one as well is too far from this. We can move it down to this point, right? Then we can also move this down. That is touch here, something like this. Alright, so you can decide to leave this way or you stretch. Then after that, we can now move this closer to this. Then we can reduce this to 100. We move it somewhere here. We stretch this to this. Okay, that is all. Then we now need to label these bars. We need to label these bars. So we come to CAD Rc, come to, okay, you can add the different bar ladders you want depending on your choice. So let's add this for this one. I'll click on this, stretch down to this point, have this, escape. Then we come to add bar reference. So I click on this one. I want to add the bar reference to this one. Come to this point, place it. Then we add bar reference for this one and place it here, place here, and place here. I think 3 is enough, right? So we can now move closer to this. Can now move it a bit down to this point. Move this down to this point as well. Then move this to this point as well. So you can reduce this to 80 if it's too big, depending on what you want. I can reduce this, then change the color to yellow. Then we can match property. Can merge the property of this. So what we just added is for the bar mark for this one, which is this, it is 02. For the bar mark for this one, it is 01. So we have successfully detailed that. Then we come to annotate. Okay, you can now detail. Then you can now as well detail the column size, right? So you can match property. And we can stretch this to come closer. All right. So, and that is all about the footing detailing. So I'm going to leave you now to detail this remaining part base. So by following what I did here, you can detail this as well. Then another thing is this. You might not actually like this the way it is. Okay, you can make this white, change the color to white. All right. So you might not actually like the way this looks. I have a template for you that you can use. Okay, I have a template for you that you can use. Okay, so I'll be sending this to the group. Let's just make use of this now. Copy and come here. So you can just paste this alongside after you have done this detailing. If you don't like the way this is, you might not do this, but you now use this template to detail this. Remember, this is the ground floor level. Okay, let me copy this. Copy. So this is the ground floor level, right? And from the ground floor level down to the footing, we have this to be 2-1. So we have the footing, this to be 250. Then the link spacing is 8y. So you just edit it according to what you have. And this is section 1, like we have here. And this is details 8. If you want to know about this point, you go to details 8. All right. So that is all about the pad footing detail. So the next detailing we are going to do, we are going to see how we can detail combined footing.